quite a few requests to see my turtle and my turtle tank and whatnot. I was building this big one for it because my turtle's starting to outgrow the tank I have him in now. I was also buying all this stuff, and I was going to make this tank for wild fish. I would catch wild fish and put them in there for a few days and get you a good look at them and then return them. So this actually was going to be the turtle's second home. I was going to keep his original home too. And then while I had wild fish in there, I would put them in his other tank. But I've had a serious wrench get thrown into my plans because this tank started leaking. It's holding water just fine at the moment. When I fill this tank up to the top, it's too much pressure and it starts leaking out a little bit. So that's no good. I just can't trust that tank even with that amount of water in there. Now let me show you the real stupid part. Here's the stupid part. About a day after that big tank out there that I was making for my turtle, after it started leaking, I came in here. This one started leaking too. I mean, it's amazing. Right at the same time. It's weird. This started out just as one little drop every now and then. Now it's filled up this big vase here. And just a couple hours, maybe 3 hours or so, it's filled that whole thing up. So I've noticed it's ruining this particle board. I found this whole setup dumpster diving, this nice cabinet. And the aquarium. It was a real nice deal, just spring a leak. That's how much it's leaked in the last 2 days right there. It's getting worse quick. So if I'm going to show you this setup, I need to show it to you now, it would appear. There's my turtle wanting some attention. What's going on, buddy? Huh? There he is. I found out it's actually a male turtle. I looked on the internet, and he's real super long front claws. I mean, he's a male. I've got a good stock of fish in here for him. I don't know if you can see those back in there. Up here I've got a filter. I used to have a submersible filter in there too, and that's a real good idea to do. It burned out, or actually the cord got cut. I'm not sure what happened to it. While I was cleaning it, somehow the cord got cut. I'm not sure what the deal was. Ideally, you want a submersible in there. Well, I noticed that when I had a submersible in there, along with this top filter, it works really good. That little filter there does a real nice job. These plants are just growing really nice. I actually copied this setup off of YouTube. There's quite a few YouTube videos about red slider turtles. I've got this ramp in here for him to climb up and sit under his bulb. They need two different kinds of light. I think UVA and UVB. UVA and UVB, something along them lines. But these plants really seem to like turtle poo. There's another one over here, just growing real nice. It would appear he's got a hold of that bamboo one in the filter there somehow. Got a nice rock, basking rock over there for him to sit on if he wants. Real nice basking area. And they call them red-eared sliders because when they get spooked, when they're on the land like that, they just slide right down into the water. So this is a real nice setup for a red-eared slider. But he's getting kind of big. So I wanted to get him in a big tank, but luckily I have a 40-gallon tank that's about this tall and a lot deeper, and it's got a lot of surface area. It's probably got more surface area than that 70-gallon one I showed you earlier, or 60, whatever it is. I think it's 70. I have just always used these big kind of rocks. I should have some more rocks in here right now. I used to have these rocks spread out across the tank, but I've piled them up on top of his palm tree so he doesn't keep knocking it over. I should get some more flat rocks or big rocks in there. I don't do gravel because it's really hard to clean. It makes it a lot easier to keep a real clean tank when you just use big rocks like this. This palm tree is specifically in there for him to have a spot to sleep. They like to lay a little bit below the surface of the water so they can sleep and stick their head up and get air every now and then. So that's a good spot for him to sleep. When he knocks that over, he can sleep up on that. Well, it's out of the water now, but those bamboo roots and stuff, he'll get wedged up in there and just chill. A little ramp for him to hang out on if he wants. There's a big fake log back in there too. I don't know if you can make that out too well. Lots of stuff for him to rest on if he wants. But I need to get him a bigger tank. I usually don't have that air stone in there. That filter should provide enough oxygen, but I was having a problem with the fish dying. Ever since I put the air stone in there, those fish are just nice and super healthy. And what are you doing, huh? You want some attention? You want some attention? Everybody's looking at you, Turks. What you got to say? Huh? What? What? He likes to follow. You want to follow the camera around? Hmm? You want to follow the camera? What are you doing? What are you doing? Want to go down here? What do you go this way? Can you go this way? Go this way? Go up? Up this way? Yeah. He's a pretty sociable little guy, really. Sometimes I think he's real lonely, but I read online that it's a bad idea to put two red-eared sliders together because they'll fight. And if it's a female, he might bother her so much that it's just a bad situation, is what I read. I read that they're actually better to keep alone. But he always wants my attention, though. I got this rock sitting on the ramp when it got too heavy, so it doesn't tip over. And these plants like turtle poo a lot for fertilizer. Seem to be doing good. I had to take real good care of him, so this was actually one of the first times I came to YouTube when I found I was searching the search engines on the internet to find out how to properly take care of him. I wanted to do it right. I think I did it right. That's not a bad little setup right there. But yeah, I think this is one of the first times I came to YouTube, was to figure out. I didn't really go to YouTube. The search engines linked me up to YouTube videos about red-eared slider habitats. And this was basically one of my first introductions to YouTube, besides some moose scrapper videos. I think it was around the same time. This video is off topic for me, but for the people watching that have tuned in to find out how to build a habitat for red-eared slider turtles, or other turtles of similar style, whatever you want to say. First thing I should say is watch other videos. There's a bunch of them out there on building these habitats. Might be different styles and different things you can do. Quiet, you kook. So for the people looking for information on how to do this the right way, here's one thing you want. It's Aqua Safe. It doesn't have to be that brand, but something to neutralize the tap water. It takes out the chemicals, the chlorine and whatnot. Make sure you get something for turtles specifically. I just bought that at Walmart. You can find stuff like that at any pet store. Besides those minnows I have in there, I feed it these little floating food sticks, which I bought at Walmart. Some little shrimps, also bought at Walmart. Another type of stick. The first sticks I showed you were like a veggie thing. And what I do with those sticks and those shrimps is, see that leftovers on a rock over there? I just put a pile on a rock over there. I just pile it up like that. And if he gets hungry, he just comes up here and grabs a mouthful of them and then goes back down into the water. I don't know if older turtles will do that. This one just learned to do that. A lot of the information I saw on the internet said that you need 2 separate tanks, a habitat tank and then like some other feeding tank where you feed them because the water will get dirty. But my turtle will just come up this ramp, grab a mouthful of food, and go back down and eat it in the water. It's impossible for them to swallow on dry land. They have to be submersed underwater to swallow, to eat. They have to be underwater to eat. That's a real important thing to remember. Another thing is they also drink this water, so you want to keep it clean. You don't want it filthy gross, because drinking that kind of water is no fun. I should talk more about these lights. You have to have these two types of lights or else this turtle will not be healthy. This is like the heat light, specifically made for reptiles and whatnot. I bought that at Walmart. You can get those in any pet store. And then this is the other type of light. I think this is the UVB and that's the UVA. I could have that mixed up. But just watch other videos about it and they'll say the same thing if they're doing it the right way. You have to have those two different kinds of lights, or else your turtle will get sick. And there's a difference between surviving and living a good life when it comes to critters like this. You know, you don't want it you don't want to force it to have to survive. You know, you want it to live and be happy. Let's see what else we got. Temperature of the water should be kept at about 80 degrees. That's about 79 right now. So I'm going to plug the heater back in. And warm it up just a couple of degrees. The heater is back there. See that red knob? I could adjust it to be perfect, but I just kind of go back and forth. In the wintertime, it'll be a little cooler in here, and I'll just run it constantly. During the summer, it gets a little up and down. Have to turn the heater on and off. But that heater is a plastic heater. You don't want to use a glass heater because they'll ram their shells into the glass and break, and you might electrocute them. So that's a nice plastic heater down there. Definitely want to have a plastic one. From what I learned, you want to keep the water at about 80 degrees constantly. And this light, you want to have it at least 10 degrees warmer than the water, so it'll invite the turtle to come up here and bask. I made my tank a little bit too short. It should probably be a couple inches taller. So that light should be sitting up here. But these animals, they're not totally stupid. I mean, if it's too hot, it'll burn them. But, you know, they can just move a little bit out of the direct way, and they're not totally stupid as long as it's not an overwhelming heat. What you want to do is just Google everything like this, the perfect heat for basking and whatnot. Another super important thing is this turtle health conditioner. This protects them from all kinds of diseases. You just flop these down in the water. I just picked these up at Walmart again. Read down here, it says helps control common diseases. I use one of these for every 20 gallons of water. So in this tank I flop in 2 of them. I put the links for this stuff down in the description. If you just want it shipped straight to your door, I'll make like a 4 to 10% commission. I don't advertise stuff that is useless. I only advertise good, helpful stuff. One thing I forgot is I've got a thermometer in here somewhere. It's actually got pushed underneath of there. See that little black piece of plastic? That's a thermometer that I use to keep control of the temperature of that light. And like I was saying earlier, this runs just a tad hot, but it's not too bad. You just don't want to overwhelm them, you know. You don't want it super, super hot. Just Google it and find out the perfect zone. My turtle's used to what I've got here, so he gets along fine with it, so I just go with it. It's going to be a notch hot though. When I make my next tank, I'm going to elevate this about another 2 inches or so. Another important thing is you want to have a real fine screen on top. See how I've got this big screen on the sides just to keep him from flopping out. Up here I've got just like a window screen. My cats have jumped up here a few times and knocked it out of the frame. But I have this other stuff reinforced pretty good, so it's not, the lights aren't going to fall down there. But you want to have this fine screen on top, so if paint chips were to fall off your ceiling or walls or whatever, or you know, anything foreign objects, you don't want them falling down there. And to keep stuff from falling in the water, that's really important. Everything you see in this setup is done specifically for a reason. And I learned it from watching other YouTube videos, so watch those other videos too. Look at this plant growing out here. It's doing real good. This wood frame up here, I just made it myself. I just screwed it together. It's untreated wood. You don't want, if you use wood, you don't want to use wood that's been treated with chemicals because the water splashes up and you don't want to deal with that. So this is just a natural wood. This whole thing, to clean this tank, all I have to do is take the lights off the top and this whole thing just lifts out of here. I just take this whole thing and just lift it away from the aquarium. This makes it real nice. I've got these little things here to keep it from sliding around. For one reason or the other, this thing has stopped leaking. I'm not sure why. But I definitely can't trust it. I'm going to have to switch over to my other one, my 40-gallon. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.